let's dive into one of the most powerful conversations ever recorded. We're talking about the dialogue between the great warrior Arjuna and his divine guide, Krishna. Now, it all goes down on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but trust me, this is way more than just a war story. It's pretty much a timeless guide for navigating the battles we all fight in our own lives.
Okay, so picture this. We're on the field of Kurukshetra. The war horns have just sounded, signaling the start of a massive, kingdom-deciding war. You can just feel the tension in the air. This is the stage for a conflict that is going to change everything.
You've got two huge armies staring each other down, ready for the fight of their lives. But here's the thing. The real war, the biggest battle, isn't actually happening out there on the field. It's all happening inside the mind of one man, the legendary warrior Arjuna. He looks out and sees his cousins, his teachers, his friends, all ready to fight him to the death.
And this is where everything just grinds to a halt. Arjuna drops his bow, he turns to his charioteer, who just happens to be Krishna, and he asks this absolutely soul-crushing question. Is it really my duty, my dharma, to kill my own family for a kingdom? I mean, what's the point? The weight of it all just breaks him, leaving him totally paralyzed by doubt.
So how does Krishna respond to this total crisis? Well, he doesn't just say yes or no. His answer is the absolute heart of the whole dialogue. He completely reframes Arjuna's understanding of life itself, which brings us to our first major theme, the question of duty and action.
The very first thing Krishna does is completely flip the script on what life and death even mean. He tells Arjuna, essentially, you're grieving for something you don't need to grieve for. He explains that these bodies, they're just temporary. The soul, your true self, that's eternal. It was never born and it will never die. It just moves from one body to the next, like changing your clothes. Right away, the whole perspective shifts from the physical to the spiritual.
And here's the kicker. Krishna's crucial point is this. Arjuna is a warrior. His dharma, his sacred duty, is to stand up and fight against injustice. To just walk away from that responsibility because of his personal feelings, well, that would be the real wrongdoing, the only adharma. The lesson is that fulfilling our duty, especially when it's hard, is the highest path we can take. But Arjuna's not totally sold yet. He's still wrestling with it. He asks, okay, if knowledge is so great, why are you pushing me into this horrible, violent action? Wouldn't it be better to just, drop everything and go live as a hermit in the mountains? And this is a question we all face, right? Should we engage with this messy, complicated world, or should we just try to escape it?
Krishna's answer here is just brilliant. It's a middle way. He explains that, look, you can't escape action. It's impossible. Even just sitting still and breathing is an action. So the real secret isn't to stop doing things. It's to act without being attached to the results. Do your duty. Give it your absolute all. But you have to let go of any claim on the fruits of that action. Do the right thing and let the results be what they will.
All right, so that brings us to the next big part of their talk. We've covered the what, perform your duty without attachment. Now we get into the how. And this is where it gets really personal, because it's all about mastering the biggest challenge of all, our own minds and staying on the path.
Arjuna then says something that, honestly, is so relatable, it hurts. He says, Krishna, my mind is restless. It's turbulent, it's stubborn. Trying to control it feels as impossible as trying to bottle up the wind. And who hasn't felt that? How on earth are we supposed to tame this inner chaos and stay focused on what matters?
And Krishna's like, yeah, I get it. It's really, really hard, but it's not impossible. He lays out this super practical two-step method. The first is abhyasa, which just means consistent practice. It's like going to the gym for your mind. You just keep bringing your focus back over and over. The second is vairagya, or detachment. This is about learning to let go of all the cravings and dislikes that are constantly yanking our minds around.
And the payoff for all this hard work? It's huge. Absolutely massive. Krishna says that for the person who has conquered their mind becomes their greatest friend, their most powerful ally. For that person, literally anything is possible. It's not about crushing the mind, it's about mastering it. Then Arjuna asks this really vulnerable question, one that I think comes straight from a fear of failure. He asks, what if someone starts down this path with good intentions, but they don't make it? What if their mind wanders off and they don't reach the goal in this lifetime? Is all that effort just gone? Are they lost?
Krishna's answer here is just so incredibly comforting.
He promises Arjuna that anyone who does good work will never meet a bad end. No effort you make on this path is ever wasted. Whatever progress you make, you carry it with you. The journey just picks up where it left off in the next life. There's no such thing as failure, only progress.
So all of this profound wisdom, all these incredible teachings, they all build up to the climax of the conversation. And after hearing all of this, Arjuna goes through a complete 180-degree transformation. He moves from being totally lost in doubt to having absolute, unshakable clarity. And this is it. This is the moment where it all clicks. Arjuna says, "My delusion is gone. Thanks to you, Krishna, my doubts are destroyed." He stands up, firm and ready. He's no longer paralyzed. He's filled with purpose, prepared to do what must be done.
So, why are we talking about this ancient battlefield conversation today? What does it have to do with us? Well, because when you really get down to it, this whole dialogue is actually for us. You see, Kurukshetra isn't just a place on a map. It's a metaphor. It's every single one of us standing at a difficult crossroads in our lives. Arjuna's problem is our problem. It's the dilemma of every person who has ever had to make a hard choice, who's felt crushed by responsibility, or who has struggled to find some kind of clarity and purpose in the chaos.
And that really leaves us with one final powerful question. What's the great battlefield you're facing in your own life right now? What's that difficult duty you're hesitating to perform? Because what this dialogue teaches us, ultimately, is that the path forward is through understanding who we really are, doing our duty without getting tangled in the results, and becoming the masters of our own minds. So what is the Kurukshetra of your life?
Subscribe for more.